Hi, third graders. Welcome to Grade 3, Unit 7, Lesson 2, The Point of Geometry. I'm Mrs. Yeager. Today we're going to build on our lesson from yesterday where we looked at lines, points, line segments, rays, and angles. But first, here's a joke. What did the spider do on the computer? He made a website. All right. So here are the materials that we're going to need today. You're going to need paper, pencil, ruler, cardboard, paper, or anything you can use as a straight edge. And then I'll have a lesson for you at the end of the lesson. And don't worry if you can't print it out because you can just write the question and answer on a piece of paper. Pause me right now so that you can gather up your materials and then press play when you're ready to get started. All right, so do you remember? Look at our 5 things that we have here. What did you call the first one? That's right, we called it a point. And do you remember what we did with our body to show a point? That's right, we put our fist out like that. Wonderful. What's the next one called? That's right, it's a line because it goes on and on in both directions and never stops. What did we do with our body to do that? That's right, we stretched out our arms and our fingers so that we could do that. What's the next one? You're right, that's called a line segment. Do you remember how we showed it with our body? We had our hands out at our sides again, but this time we had our hands as a fist, so it showed the end points. What's that next one called? A ray. You're right. And how did we show it with our body? We had one hand out where my fingers were pointing straight and one hand out where I had a fist. And then what is that last shape called? You're right. It's called an angle. And remember we talked about this is like what we do for baby shark, or we could do mama shark, or we could do grandpa shark when we showed it with our bodies. Wonderful. Well, today I want to do a matching game. And there we go. I'm going to move me over there so that you can see. So look at my words. They're kind of mixed up. It says ray, line, angle, line segment, and point. So which one of those is a ray? Do you remember? Can you point to it? You're right if you said that was a ray. But now I need to think about the definitions of ray. So the top one in blue says, part of a line, it has 2 endpoints and includes all the points between the 2 endpoints. I'm not sure that sounds like a ray. How about 2 rays in the green box? 2 rays that have a common endpoint. The red box says an exact location in space with no length or width. The yellow box says a collection of points going on and on infinitely in both directions. And the purple box says a part of a line, it has 1 endpoint and extends indefinitely in one direction. That sounds like a ray. So we'll draw our line. Let's look at the next one. It's a line. Which one of those? Can you point to the one that shows a line? You're right, it's right there. And what is the definition for line of those that we read? It says a collection of points going on and on infinitely in both directions. You're right. Very good. Look at that next word, angle. Which one of those is an angle? You're right there. And then the definition of an angle is two rays that have this common endpoint. And do you remember what we called that common endpoint yesterday? A vertex. Very good. All right, look at the next one. A line segment. Which one of those two things left is a line segment? Oh, you're right. Right there is the line segment. And the definition of line segment is part of a line has two endpoints and includes all the points between the two endpoints. Very good. And then finally, probably the easiest one is my point. And my point is an exact location in space with no length or width. Very good. That was fun playing a match game. So now I want to think about how to draw a line segment, or ray using a ruler or a straight edge. So watch this video and you see that I'm using a ruler first, and I put it down and I hold it tightly with one hand while I draw a line with the other. And then I'm going to put something on the end and we'll decide what it is. Yes, that is a line because it goes on and on in both directions. Okay. Now, next, I took a piece of cardboard that came out of some packaging something, and I'm holding it tightly again so that I can draw a straight line. Oh, but what am I putting on the ends here? I see two end points. So what did I just draw? I drew a line segment. Now let's look at the last one. With the last one, I took a piece of paper and I folded it 2 times. And now I'm going to hold it down carefully. And what am I going to put on the ends of this one? Oh, I just made a ray because it has one end point and it goes on and on forever in another direction. Now, if you want to take the time, you can pause it right now and try drawing those 3 things using either your ruler or a piece of cardboard, or if you need to, fold up a piece of paper to make a straight edge. But we want to use a straight edge of some kind so that our lines are good and straight. So pause for a minute and see if you can draw like I did, nice and straight lines. Okay, wonderful. Now that we're back, the next thing I want to do is to look around your house to see if you can find points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. So I looked at my house and I have this thing that's called a plant stand. And I was looking at that and I said, oh my goodness. The first thing I noticed were these 2 holes. And what do you think I called those? I called those points. You're right. And then I looked here and I said, oh my goodness, that's a line segment. And then finally, I saw this. And what did I draw? I drew an angle. So now, after we're finished here, I would like you to look around your house and see if you can find points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. So we want to think about how did we connect with yesterday's lesson today. Well, yesterday we learned about points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. And today we were talking about their definition of what they were again, and we talked about how to draw them using a straight edge. And finally, we looked at how they are in our lives. You're going to find these things every day. The most famous people who use these things are architects, people who build houses and buildings. So here is your homework or your exit ticket. On this side with the homework, you can make a little chart for yourself, just like we did when we made the points, the cards. I want you to draw a picture of each of those words. Then if you can make up your own definition, we talked about the definitions today, but what would be your definition? And then draw an example of something around your house that has that in it. The other thing is the exit ticket. Also, you're just drawing an example of each. And then down at the bottom, you see this is a question that might be on an SOL test. It says, circle the box that has 2 rays and 1 line segment. All right, that's all for today. We'll see you later. Bye.